Welcome. I'm Jeanette, the Northbound Coach, and I'm here taking you on another one of my walk and talks. This time I'm visiting parts of my childhood, actually. In fact, this one was one that used to be all orchard when I first grew up here. We used to walk through the orchard, and then they built it into a park, and I spent many years coming here, walking from my house to this location. In fact, many years at these tennis courts behind me, which now seem to be turned into um, what's that called? What's the game called? It's very popular now. Pickleball. They're pickleball courts, and there are a lot of people here today playing pickleball. So, anyway, that's not the point of this. I like to bring you a reflection from one of my outings where I've been doing some thinking. And today I really want to talk about some lessons that I've learned while processing a mid-career crisis, so to speak. And in today's video, I want to share some of those lessons with you, and maybe let's do a little walking as we progress through the park here. So the first lesson that really helps, in the title here of uncluttering. I think these are sort of lessons that I've learned that have helped in the uncluttering my mind uh, process. And the first lesson that I want to share is that it takes time as you go through the mid-career crisis to kind of unpack it. It's almost like, those vacuum pack bags where you can like store your stuff away and they take all the air out of it and everything gets shrunk into a smaller space. Well, it's kind of like that, where just as you've gone through, or as I went through, um, you know, coming into the case of the crisis, I kind of shrunk. And one of the lessons is that you can't expect to unshrink um, and come back into shape that quickly. It takes time to go through that process. And so um, give yourself, if you're in this situation, give yourself the time for yourself, your being, to take shape again, so that you can find and make decisions based on your true self versus kind of the shrunk into space self that you might have become in the process. The second lesson that I want to share with you is that pain can really be a good thing. Now, often we don't think that's the case. We want to get away from it. But pain is just like, when you cut yourself or you burn yourself, pain is a signal to like take your hand off that hot stove. And that's the way I feel about the pain of a mid-career crisis. Now, it's not the same pain as being burned, but it may have looked for you more like the pain of anxiety, the pain of worry, um, dreading coming into your work, your job on a daily basis. Those are all signals and lessons that I've learned in the process about, what you don't want more of. And so that pain can be a signal to make a change. The third lesson is about perfection, and that perfection can't be the goal. And this is a lesson that I've learned as I've started my business. And perfectionist characteristics cannot be your friend in that process. You have to get out there and do things and make things happen and not worry about them not being 100% or even 99.9% right. They just can't be. And this is really important thing in the process of working through a mid-career crisis. It's not going to be a fast, oh, here's all the answers. You have to work through that process and try things and not make perfection the goal. Trying things is the goal. A fourth lesson is that much as I thought I was alone, I'm not alone. I am not the exception. I and my experience are common, and the experience that you're going through, you may feel very by yourself and thinking that, oh, it's only you that's going through this process, but it's not the case. There are a lot of people in this and a lot of allies in this process. And so let this period of time of processing through the mid-career crisis be one of also connection. And let me just say, as I walk on this part of the lawn here, this used to be a lake. For all the years that I was coming here, this park was quite a bit, featured quite a bit of water. So literally, I'd be standing in the middle of the duck pond right now, but it looks like they made the decision to fill all of that in. I'll turn around so you can get sort of a view of what's behind me. So everything that's behind me used to be filled with water and ducks. And then this little gazebo here was sort of a little island that you could go to. So very interesting. But that's an aside. Um, let's see. Let's come back to the fifth and final lesson that I wanted to share with you on this walk today. And that is the concept of sunk cost, or the fallacy of sunk cost. You may be feeling stuck and not able to move forward in a similar way to me, which was, well, gosh, I've invested all of this time in the position that I left before I made this move into a new career space. I was there for 15 years. So that's a lot of time spent in that. And you may feel like I've sunk all of this investment of my time and my resources into the current direction, especially at this point in your career where you can, retirement isn't right there, but it's on the horizon. And so it may feel like I can't do this. I've already put all of this time and energy into this direction. It's not a good investment. But that's the fallacy of sunk costs. That in fact, when it no longer works for you, the best thing to do is cut it off and move in a new direction. And so that's been a really significant lesson for me. Now, thank you for joining me today. I want to keep this brief, but I did want to share, just some of those top reflections that have come to mind and really helped as I've gone through this sort of uncluttering process. Um, I post twice a week. I like to post on the weekend one of these kind of reflections, and then I dig a little deeper on topics in the middle of the week. So please like, subscribe to my brand new channel. I certainly would appreciate the help as more people are finding the channel through your likes and the subscriptions and the watch time. So I do appreciate that. And I'll put some links into the other videos for you in the description box. And until next time, thanks for joining me. Take care.